who travels back in time and falls in love with this Scottish warrior. And I guess to every American woman, the idea of meeting some foreign stranger and falling in love with him and having him fall in love with you is like the ultimate fantasy. There's, it's historically accurate, and there's time travel and romance, so I feel like it's a book that has everything. That would be my choice.
That sounds amazing. Hint, hint, Colombian guys, foreign guys, American women. Have you met very many interesting people here? Or?
Yes. I didn't know. I have. Yesterday was pretty amazing. I got to meet a lot of my teenage readers and even some adults, and that's really incredible because I remember 5 years ago when Hush Hush came out, I was getting tweets and Facebook messages from fans in Colombia saying, please come to our country. And so, I knew they were fans from the beginning, and it's really amazing to be here and finally be meeting some of you.
That's great to have you here. Okay, Becca, everyone wants to know, did you tend to fall for the bad boys as a teenager?
I think it's impossible for a teenage girl not to at some point kind of wonder, what it would be like to be with a bad guy. My boyfriend in high school was a really great guy. He was really sweet and kind and smart. He was perfect for me. But I did find myself occasionally wondering, looking at those guys in the hall who you knew were trouble and just wondering what it would be like to be with them. And I think that's what's so great about a book, is it gives you this safe place to explore those feelings and those ideas without getting into trouble necessarily in your real life.
So you never actually dated a bad boy, you dated the good guys?
I did date one. And it was this wild but disastrous ride.
How long did that last?
A few months. And then I married my husband, who's a really sweet guy.
So you learned the lesson.
Yeah, I did.
Awesome. All right. Do you think that bad girls are cool too? Are they alluring? Do you like that kind of image?
Yeah, I think anytime someone has this allure of mystery about them and, they walk that line of danger, of course there's going to be some intrigue. Yeah.
Do you consider yourself to be safe, or are you actually bold in real life?
I think I've gotten a lot safer as I've gotten older, and having children has changed me and turned me into a kinder, more loving version of myself. Yeah, more sweet than sour.
That's awesome. So, are you essentially good or essentially bad?
I think it'd be kind of funny if I said bad. I don't think anyone would believe me.
They might.
They might. I would hope. I think it's better to aspire to be good and to be have light within you. So hopefully I'm headed in that direction.
Awesome. Can you recommend your readers a young adult novel that you've read in the latest times that you've liked?
Well, I'm sure many of my teen readers have read Divergent, the series. I absolutely loved Divergent. If you're into more realistic contemporary fiction, I loved The Summer I Turned Pretty series by Jenny Han. They just capture that idea of falling in love over a summer with two boys and having to figure out which one is right for you. And then Legend by Marie Lu.
Speaking of seasons, which one is your favorite?
It used to be fall. I really loved the change of the leaves changing colors and the snow coming and frost. But having lived in Colorado for almost 9 years and enduring many long winters, you guys don't get snow here like we do. Spring is now my favorite. I really look forward to that rebirth, that changing of life coming back.
I thought you were going to say summer. So is spring warm enough? Warmish, or is it the change that you like?
I like the change. Spring is warm, but in Colorado we can have these beautiful warm days and then it will snow again. And then beautiful warm days and then more snow.
Okay, Becca, your readers want to know, what is the worst book that you've ever read?
Oh, I don't know if I can answer that.
You can talk about it without mentioning the title or the author, saying it's a book about this and this.
Okay. I know I get a lot of mail from people telling me things that they hated about my books or that they flat out hated my books. I'm trying to think if I've ever read a book that I absolutely hated. And I don't think I have. Even if I disagree with what's happening in the book and I don't like the characters, I feel like I take something away from it and I learn something. It's hard for me to think of a book I've ever truly hated.
Okay, for the next slide.
Yes.
So also, how important is homework for you? Because they notice that, there's a lot of importance placed around homework in the first book, because the girls go into school. Do you make your kids sit and do homework very constantly?
I do. I make my kids do their homework. As for myself, when I was in middle school, so age, I'm not sure how it translates here in Colombia, but ages 12 through, say, 14. I was a horrible student. I got really bad grades. I didn't do my homework. I was always in detention.
Wow. So you were a bad girl.
I was.
You were a bad girl.
And then I remember overhearing this conversation between my mom and my older sister talking about how I never applied myself and I was never going to go anywhere, and just saying some kind of negative things about me. It was really hurtful. And I made this decision. This was in 8th grade, so I was almost 14. I just made this decision. I was going to prove them wrong and I was going to go somewhere with my life. And then in high school I completely changed and I got straight A's and I graduated as valedictorian of my high school and I went out for sports and I really worked hard to apply myself. And I'm glad I had that experience because it did change me and it made me learn to set goals and strive for them and really try to accomplish what I wanted with my life.
Good for you. Take that, mom and sister. Okay, they also want to know, what is most important in a relationship? Depth or physical attraction?
Depth was the first one?
Yeah.
Well, I've noticed, and this is something that I didn't really tell until my books were all published and I was able to go back and reflect on them, but in all of my books there's this issue of trust. Like, can I trust this person? And to me, I think that is the most important thing in a relationship, really knowing that you can open up and share yourself with someone else and that you're not going to be judged, but then that they can also do that with you. And so maybe when I was 13, I would have said physical attraction, but now depth, for sure.
Okay, speaking of trust, have you ever been asked to trust someone blindly? And did you?
Yeah, I think anytime you're forging a new relationship, you are forced to confront that question, can I trust this person? And I think in the past, I've had people who've let me down and betrayed that trust, which is why this is such an important question to me in my stories. Is this person good or are they bad and are they going to betray me?
So do you tend to trust people before you actually know them? Do you take that leap of faith?
For better or worse, I think I do. I don't know if that makes me gullible or just wanting to see the best in people, but I do find myself just hoping that I can trust people if they're good.
They say that's the best attitude to have. Well, behavioral scientists, they say that if you don't trust people, without proof, then you'll have a miserable life pretty much.
Well,
so
that's good. I like that.
Yeah,
hopefully I am that way.
All right. Is love sexual tension?
In my books, I kind of portray that there's this attraction, this sexual tension that's so important to the relationships. And I think in Hush Hush, when Patch and Nora first meet, Patch isn't necessarily a hero at that point. He definitely is a villain. I mean, he's trying to kill Nora. He's not a good guy. Hopefully that's not a spoiler. Hopefully some of you, or most of you,
no, they've all read it, don't worry.
Sorry, you remind me.
So yeah, it's love sexual tension.
But over the course of the books, their relationship does go much, much deeper, and they learn to love each other. And even though Nora is flawed, and Patch has many flaws as well, they are able to overlook those and really care about the core person underneath.
In real life, how important do you think it is to be faithful to a partner?
Well, I've talked a lot about how trust is important to me, so I would say that's extremely important. I can't imagine ever writing a hero who I truly believe was a hero, or a heroine for that matter, who cheated on someone that they claimed to love.
And are murderers sexy?
No. This just goes back to saying when I was writing Hush Hush, I wasn't picturing Patch as being a hero at that point. He really was the story's antagonist. He really was a bad guy. And his is a story of redemption, and it takes all 4 books for us to really see him come from this really evil, dark place to being someone we can admire and care about.
So he changes.
He does.
That's excellent.
But I want readers to know that for every character in a book, there's a real man out there who authors are using as inspiration for characters. And
so you believe this? You believe that there are amazing guys out there that
I
are
really
just
do
as
believe
great.
there are amazing guys. I mean, I'm married to an amazing guy, and I've had a lot of amazing guys in my life. Yeah.
And they're just as amazing as book characters.
Yes, well, and it's easy to write a book character a hero who's always strong, and he's sexy, and he never makes mistakes, and his flaws are only good flaws. It's a lot easier to write that kind of character than to be that kind of person in real life.
Oh yeah, for sure. So they want to know, but maybe this is a spoiler, but they still want to know, what made Patch decide not to kill Nora in the first book?
I think the first trigger was remembering who he used to be, and that at one point he was this good person, and being around Nora reminded him of the light that he used to have within him. So that was the first spark, and then actually remembering what it was like to care about someone more than yourself. And when Patch realized that, like, he actually cared about Nora, and was worried about her fate, and was thinking more about her than himself, that he made that decision.
So what about her? Is it that made him fall in love with her? What about Nora made Patch fall in love?
I think because despite Nora's flaws, she is an inherently good person. She's trying to do her best. She's trying to do the right thing. And seeing that was what reminded him of who he used to be, and just that goodness at her
Love
center.
sprung from there.
Mm-hmm.
That's beautiful. All right, final question. They want to know, do you like Justin Bieber?
Well, I think first I need to say that I'm 35 years old, so I'm a little older than the Bieber fever. I actually didn't know who, I'd heard his name, but I was in the gym doing this and yesterday I was here at the fair for I think 13 hours. So I haven't yet had a chance to explore your beautiful city. I'm hoping to soon. But one of the things it's impossible not to notice about my Colombian readers is just how warm and friendly and welcoming you all have been. And I speak a little Spanish, very little, un poquito. But everyone has been so, when I try and I fumble and I bumble over my Spanish, everyone's been so welcoming and encouraging and not made me feel like I shouldn't even try. As for a message, that's a really hard one. Just one message. Probably to set goals for yourself. Decide what you want out of your future. Set goals, little small ones, and just constantly be striving to reach those goals, because that's how you achieve something great. Not in one giant bound, but by making little steps, little progress toward your big goal.
Hi, I love your book so much, and thank you for coming to Colombia. I just wanted to know why the angels' wings are black. Why did you want their wings black? Thank you.
Thank you. Great English. Well, to me, when I think of black, I think of this very dark, I don't want to say an evil color. I wear black all the time. It's evil. Just kidding. But it kind of is this, this dark, mysterious, a little bit disturbing color. And I think it's important to remember that fallen angels are evil. I mean, they are not good guys. They are the bad guys. And it just seemed like a really good match for their personality.